hoping over time to create sensory zones, light zones, sound zones within the play space, so that actually what kids get is not just play, not just exhaustion, but it was intended just to say, wow. Most kids, when they go into a play space, see the slide and go, wow. Here, they come into the space and they see a dragon and they go, ah, wow.
Taking a deep breath, thinking of all the good things, thinking of all the great joys in the world. Scars on the outside, dreams are within. Beauty is much deeper than skin. Stars in the wide sky look on, and one of them is mine. Pure of heart, pure of soul. I look into the mirror and it's you I see. My mother standing there in front of me. Pure of heart, pure of soul. Every day I think of how it used to be. Every day my mother standing next to me. Love, must it always be so far away from me? So far away from me.
Not so beautiful now, Princess Rosa.
The Ark opened in February in 2010, and myself and the team came on board the September before that, September 2009, to start to get everything ready. Over the last 5 years, it's been an incredible roller coaster with some very special highs and some absolutely huge challenges, but I wouldn't have missed it for the world. The core values of the Ark are inclusive, inviting, inspiring, and we try really hard to keep to that all of the time. And our mission statement, right from the time that we opened, was to work with those whose voices are quietest. The charity that owns the building, the Caterham Trust, was set up for community benefit, and they wanted us to really concentrate on children and the elderly and adults with special needs. I think it'd be really hard to say what I love most about the Ark. I do quite a lot of the hands-on stuff, and one of my absolute favourite things is the Friday Club, which is working with adults with disabilities, and they do drama and dance and singing and art, and we work on shows with them. They choose what shows they want to do, we improvise around that, and then we put on productions which are absolutely stunning, and every single person that comes to the Friday Club is an amazing person to work with. I do a few other hands-on things. I run a theatre school here, and I love my students. They're absolutely brilliant. They work so hard, and what we achieve with them is amazing. It's partly about the stars of tomorrow and all of that, and people becoming great actors. But aside from that, it's a great way for team building and confidence, social skills, all of those things. And they do some absolutely stunning productions, and they also support the professional actors in a lot of work that we do here at the Ark. So, for example, in our Christmas shows, we have a team of probably 6 professional actors, and then 2 teams of young people, mostly from our theatre schools and our classes, who support those actors and actually do incredibly important parts. They're not do-wopping in the background. They have their own characters with lots of lines and songs to learn, and a lot of responsibility, and they do a fantastically good job of that. We also run the adults group here, and that meets on a Monday from 7:15 to 9:30. We do classes, technical classes, improvisation, voice, characterisation, practitioners, and we also work on shows. So our last show was the Trojan Women, which was very exciting, and we're just about to start rehearsing Tristan and Isolde. This year we're doing a bit of a holiday up to Edinburgh to have a look at some venues with a view to taking a show up there for next year's Edinburgh Festival, which is very exciting. There have been several projects here which I've absolutely loved doing. Two of my favourites were the Creating Cultures Festival, which was funded by Children in Need, which had 3 special schools coming in, and they chose which culture they wanted to look at and created their own plays, and then took part in a big festival here of the work, which was, even now, just thinking about it makes my heart beat faster. And one of the other really special ones was Elephant in My Heart. So Jessica Clements, who's one of our actors here and is also works doing meditation, worked with us. So we did a combined meditation and drama project, working with schools with behavioural problems. And some of the results were sensational, and the guys went from having, some of the pupils went from having a very small focus period to being able to get through a 6-hour day with a stunning performance in the middle of it. The 2 main frustrations that I've had here during the 5 years have been not being able to secure any permanent funding for the building. It's very hard when I sit around tables with a lot of other managers and artistic directors, most of whom have their buildings funded, and I know that they're doing a fraction of the work that we're doing here. It's a lot of reasons. So sometimes it's to do with the location, because we're in a fairly well-off area. Sometimes it's to do with the fact that we don't have sufficient financial reserves for some trusts and foundations and other sources. But it is very difficult, and people all the time say what you're doing here is brilliant. And I just hope that at some point someone will go, hey, you know what you're doing here is brilliant, and I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help you now. What am I most proud of in the building? I'm most proud of the artistic standard of the work, sometimes despite everything that's going on around us. I'm very proud of the fact that we've kept inclusivity at the core of everything that we do here, including with our volunteers. We have 57 volunteers, over 26 of them are state volunteered or have some kind of disability. And it's just having people say all their life they've been given to, and this is the first opportunity they've had to give something back, and that's really important. We take that for granted, but it's actually really important. And the third and last thing that I'm most proud of is the staff. The staff and volunteers are second to none, and they make it the best place in the world to work.
Come on, Wabbits, come on. Don't give up, now.
Welcome to the Day of Kings. Welcome to this ancient day. Wabbits join and play their parts in sunrise, in sunrise. Welcome to this brand new day. Welcome to a world of light. Wabbits join and play their part in sunrise, in sunrise. Sunrising high, sunrising cool, sun in the sky.
The Ark is what its name says, an arts and recreation centre. The concept was that in the middle of every community there ought to be a space where people can be creative, where they can express themselves properly, where they can be free, where they are in some sense liberated. Because we live in a society where constraint is all around us, and schools and everything else are not encouraged to help us to grow, to develop, this place was thought of as a space within which that could happen. One of the characteristics, though, of a community that is interesting is that to be a real community, it needs to be inclusive. It needs to have every voice. And one of the problems with a community is that frequently the quietest voices are not heard. They're the voices of the disabled, people who have not been taught and have not been encouraged to express themselves, to be the people they can. And one of the key purposes for the Ark was that it would be that sort of space where the quietest voices were heard and listened to. It's not enough just to allow people to express themselves, they actually have to be heard. And so part of what we were seeking to do here was to open up opportunity, particularly for disabled people, learning and physically disabled, but not exclusively for them. The intention was that observation, that inspiration is something which goes with them. It actually is something they carry into everything they do, and they start to look at the world differently. The intention is that they will see the world in a different light as a result of experiencing this building. So many of its activities are geared towards that, whether it's theatre, art, poetry, music, photography, matters not. It's just an opportunity to provide a voice, and a voice for people who otherwise would not be heard.
So my name is Alison Lindsay and I'm technical manager. As part of the technical team, we really struggle with lack of resources. So even though we have a fully functioning generic wash lighting rig, it's really hard to do a really good show. I'm really lucky with the team that I have here as well, of staff and volunteers, that we actually can do the shows and make them look really good. Our Christmas shows are always, we try and get to a top level. We did projection this year for the first time, and a lot of other small venues would have already done, but we did it for the first time here and it did look really good, and that was all thanks to staffing and volunteers. We are really lucky with the community base as well. Our community is so helpful. They lend us stuff, they let us borrow stuff, and also hiring stuff for a very small amount, which is always great. We really hope when you come and have a look around the Ark this weekend that you will actually see how much we've put into it, how much we do here. And also, once you've come and visited the Ark at the weekend, if you feel like you want to be part of the technical team, we're always looking for casuals, staffing and volunteers. Do go and see one of our lovely ladies at the box office who will happily get you to fill in a starter form as well.
Cause there was something about this big old egg that wasn't really right. It was like a massive bonbon or a small full moon at night. Cause it was the roundest pickled egg I've ever seen. It was round and pickled and eggy. Don't you see, it was the roundest pickled egg I've ever seen. It was the roundest pickled egg. Well, I've seen a round orange in a circular on that day when I bought one from a chip shop that's around the corner from me. Thank you. The one by the station, no, the other one was closer to me, next to the dry cleaners. Oh yes, I know the one that you mean. I hear they do around pickled eggs there.
It's rarefied, real, just right.
My cream will go off anyway. No doubt my middle will start to say, my lovely ribbon is soggy rag. And then she'll put me in the fridge, between the common food I'll squidge. Ah, please, you know I used to be a cake. There's been a rather large mistake.
Round it goes. Where it stops, no one knows.
Got to month,